All right, you guys, this week, stepping into my kitchen is Jessica Bowman. You might recognize her because she played with Jonah Hawkins in the Classic last year. They actually took second place. She is an incredible pickleball player. She lives in San Diego now, but she used to live in the South Valley because her husband was stationed at NAS Lemoore. She talks about her pickleball journey, what she truthfully thought about the Central Valley, and why the heck she has a Labubu on her pickleball bag. All right, well, we did do the interview when the weather was not like how it is now. It's actually a couple of weeks ago. She was in town, and so we caught up here at Sierra. Here is what she had to say. All right, everyone, thanks so much. Back here with another episode of the Valley Rally, and I have Jess with me. How are you doing this morning?
Good. Cold, but I'm good.
I know, seriously. So you lived in the Valley for a while and then moved down to San Diego.
I did.
This weather, I'm sure, is not making you miss the Valley.
Not one bit.
As we're out here, you guys, it's like 40 degrees. So we thank Jess for, bearing the cold temperatures. How was the drive up from San Diego? And what do you think is like the biggest change from living in the Valley to living in San Diego?
The drive here wasn't too terrible. I left it around a time where not too much traffic. I guess the biggest thing that San Diego has over the Valley is obviously the weather.
Yes.
And it doesn't constantly smell like cows over there.
Isn't that so true? I feel like sometimes you're driving through the South Valley and you can smell those dairies. Medeiros is a Portuguese last name, and so a lot of the South Valley dairies are actually owned by Portuguese that came over from the Azores, but man, the smell is not the
driving here, I was like, yep, I'm back. I smell it.
I'm back in the Valley. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to do a segment. Your Instagram handle, our hands are fast, right? So this is like perfect for you, okay?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you rapid fire questions and you're just going to answer as fast as you can, okay? Central Valley or SoCal vibes?
SoCal.
All right. One thing you must have in your pickleball bag besides a paddle?
My stress reliever, Labubu.
Oh, the Labubu. I will say, I see a couple of Labubus on your bags.
Yes.
So tell me the story behind that.
So one of my really good friends, who's also my agent, shout out, playing the zone pickleball. There was one day she was like, do you want one? And I go, I'm not buying one. I don't even buy one for my children. And she goes, well, I'll just buy you one. And I go, okay. So there just happened to be a Labubu vendor at the tournament that we were at. And then I had just not, did so well in one of my matches. So she goes, I hope this makes you feel better.
And which one was that? Was that the one here on the back?
It's the white one right here.
What do you think of the Labubu craze?
I think I just got one because I was like, everyone else has one, so my FOMO kicked in. It's like, I want one. So everyone had one on their bags, and I go, okay, well, I want one on my bag.
What do your kids think of it?
They love them. And they now can tell the difference between like a fake one and a real one. So I got this fake one, not thinking they would know, and my daughter goes, that one doesn't have the right amount of teeth, so it's fake. She's 6.
Man, she's pretty smart for 6. She knows all about the, what do they call them, the fake Labubus, the Fabubus or whatever? Yeah, that's funny. Okay, biggest green flag in a mixed doubles partner?
Being able to tell me when to get out of their way. Because sometimes I'll stand there and then I am about to hit a ball and then I just see, this big guy coming over and taking the ball from me. So they're just like, I'll let you know next time when to just take a step aside.
Take a step aside. Harder adjustment, moving away from the Valley or adjusting to traffic?
Oh my gosh, adjusting to the traffic. The traffic in San Diego is crazy. Like the most random times, you would think rush hour, the 4 to 5 o'clock range would be the worst. But I have hit traffic around like 2 o'clock or even like early as noon sometimes. Sometimes because I live very close to the hub in San Diego, and it normally takes me 15 minutes to get there. And during rush hour, it has taken me about 45 minutes to get there.
Wow. What's been the longest that you've been in traffic before?
Like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And that's like driving to Carlsbad, which is maybe 30 minutes away.
That's so frustrating. I feel like when you're in traffic and there's nothing you can do but be at a standstill is the worst.
Yeah.
Okay, post-tournament plans. Are you an ice bath person, food run, or straight to the couch?
Straight to the couch. Everyone keeps telling me, you need to stretch, you need to do X, Y, and Z after your tournaments. And I go, my thing is I go straight home and I sit down.
I get you there because sometimes you just need to do that. Best moment from the California Classic?
That's easy. Playing against Stavro.
All right, well, your partner did mention, obviously, Jonah came on the podcast and talked about, that second game, you guys pickled them. What was that like? I mean, the first game 11-5, second game 11-0.
Well, I remember before the match started, Stav was like, I'm just going to drive everything at you. And I said, go ahead. Good luck. I said that might work against other people, but not me.
What did it feel like when you were able to beat Stav?
I mean, that was my very first time ever playing against him. So getting to beat him, especially with him and Jonah kind of like going back and forth with each other, it felt good. Because
Yes.
like Jonah and I went in and we're like, we're fine.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of trash talking during that match. Obviously, both of them big trash talkers. Who's more competitive, you or Jonah?
I want to say Jonah.
Yeah, he's pretty competitive, but you guys were killing it out there. Okay, favorite trash talk line. I know you did comment on the Valley Rally, their famous line, Stavro and Jonah, that's our guy, after they were talking about that.
So that's obviously like Stav's favorite line to say, but for me, especially when I'm playing mixed, if a guy is speeding up at me and I end up hitting a counter, I'll always look at them and I just say like, yeah, right, or no way kind of thing.
I love that. Do not underestimate the female power, okay, you guys?
I'm pretty sure I said a couple of those to Stav whenever we were playing.
As you should. One thing that you think the Valley does better than Southern California?
I don't think there is one, honestly.
Oh no, that's too bad. Okay, favorite tournament that you've played in?
Other than the California Pickleball Classic, in SoCal there are these tournaments called iPickles, and they do a tournament every single month, and I go to all of them. It's such like well run, and then the vibes there are super chill and like really relaxed. So I do those like every single month. I'm actually doing one next weekend.
That's awesome. Best of luck to you. Okay, dream pickleball destination anywhere in the world.
Ooh. I've always heard the pickleball in Hawaii is really nice, so I would love to go play over there at some point.
I love the Hawaiian Islands. They're so nice, but that would be great to play pickleball. One word to describe Jonah as a partner.
Loud.
One word to describe yourself as a partner.
I would probably just say solid, especially like in mixed, because the female player, like, we're there to, think, reset, try to set up our male partner, and I think I do that very well for Jonah.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you as well. So what do you think is the most underrated skill in mixed doubles?
Like for the females?
Yes.
Well, obviously, like, being able to handle the power coming from the other male player, because we are going to be right in front of them. So I think if you have a good counter, that's good. But for me, my favorite shot is hitting a lobs. So that's something that wins us a lot of points, because I do like hitting lobs in places where they don't expect it. So I think that's a shot that's pretty underrated, and it should be hit a lot more.
Yes, absolutely. And it can set you up. What is one thing women players do not get enough credit for?
I guess it's kind of having, fast hands. People think like, oh, in mix, I'm going to target the girl. I'm going to hit all these hard shots at them and they won't be able to handle it, which is not true.
Where did you come up with the hands are too fast?
That's actually a really funny story. whenever I was talking to my friend in LA, who is also my agent, also shout out Liz Coppola, I was telling her a story that I was playing a match and this girl sped up a ball at me and I countered it. And I told her that my hands are too fast for that. And whenever I signed with her agency, she said, we need you to have a pickleball account. And I was like, okay, well, just like do a standard Jessica Bowman PB like everyone always does. And she goes, no, you need something different, something that makes you stand out. At first she was gonna put Nasty Lobs as my Instagram handle, but someone already used that one.
Really?
Yeah. So she goes, and I told her the story, and she goes, well, how about hands are too fast? And I said, that's really funny. I'm probably gonna get made fun of for it, but it's actually kind of blown up since then.
So take us through a little bit about how you first heard about pickleball.
So my husband and I, we were living in Hanford, and we were driving to the store, and I said, what are these little tiny courts? And he goes, it's pickleball. And I go, what is that? And he goes, it's like miniature tennis. And I played tennis my whole life. So I was like, I could do that. I think I can pick this up pretty easily. So that's kind of like how I started.
And you're from Florida originally, right?
Yes.
And you grew up, lived there your whole life until you moved to the Valley?
Yeah, so I was in Florida, grew up there whole life, and then when I met my husband, we ended up going to Virginia for about 4 years, and then we moved to the Central Valley in 2017.
And your husband's in the military, right?
He is.
What has that been like for you? Because I'm sure you guys, you just talked about it, but you've had to travel a lot.
It is definitely hard because, you establish, friends and everything in one place for a while, and then all of a sudden you move and you have to basically start all over again.
Yeah.
And then now, with our kids, it's a little hard for them too because they make their friends, and then all of a sudden we're like, okay, well now we have to move to a whole different place.
Yeah. And do you guys hope to stay in San Diego at least for a little bit?
Yeah, so we are gonna be there until at least 2028. And then he is going to try and get another set of orders to where we can stay there until the end of until he hits retirement.
Okay, cool. So when you first played, so you heard about pickleball because you saw the courts. When you first played your first game, what were your initial thoughts?
I said, I cannot play this like it's tennis. And I said, what is this box here? And they're like, it's the kitchen. I said, what is that? What are you talking about? I can't charge the net and hit a ball. I have to let it bounce. What does this mean? So that was definitely an adjustment because, tennis players, we hit the ball hard all the time. There was barely any soft hitting. And then here it's like, you have to hit a dink. And I said, what is that? What do you mean I cannot speed a ball like right here?
Any of your tennis friends give you crap for switching over to pickleball?
A couple of them did, and I said, hey, don't knock it till you try it. And a lot of my friends now are just all into pickleball.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Did you play tournaments right away, or was it just rec play at first?
No, I definitely did a lot of rec play before I started playing tournaments. I think I played a few months before I played my first tournament.
What is harder, being a mom in a high-stress situation or a game-winning point?
I want to say game point of a game, but dealing with two kids screaming at me for something at the same time definitely makes me very stressed, which is why I am here and taking a little weekend break from them.
What do your kids think about pickleball?
They love it, honestly. They are wanting to try and get into it, but I think they're still a little young because they don't understand the hand-eye coordination yet of like holding a paddle
Yeah.
and hitting a ball. And my son, who just turned 4, thinks that everything is, is a weapon right now. So he's like, oh, I have this paddle. Let me see if I can get away with hitting my sister.
Siblings are like that, I'll tell you. I have 4 sisters and a brother, and definitely they are like, could be your best friends, but there's times where there's the feuds. Does your husband play pickleball at all?
He does.
Yeah.
But he did not come up with any racket sports or anything. He was a baseball guy growing up. He played football. He did lacrosse. So this paddle in his hand doesn't make sense. He's like, so it's not, I can't hit it like a baseball. I go, no. He goes, I can't drive it at the kitchen. I say, well, you can try, but it's not going to work.
Was your whole family into tennis, or was it just you?
It was actually my dad. So my dad really just liked playing tennis growing up, and he was like, do you want to try it? I said, yeah. And then I was doing a lot of other sports at the time too.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, this is getting expensive. I need you to pick one. So I picked tennis.
What other sports did you play as well?
So I swam growing up, and I also did gymnastics growing up. And those are all pretty expensive sports.
Yeah.
So he said, you just need to pick one. I can't do all 3.
Did you play doubles or singles in tennis?
I only did singles. I actually did not like doubles whenever I was playing tennis.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you play singles at all in pickleball?
I used to. I tried it out, and then I said my old body cannot handle running around this court, so I'm just going to stick to doubles.
Yeah, what do you think about the fact that they're going to shorten the court for singles on pickleball?
I think that's weird because, they're doing this for the PPA challengers.
Yeah.
So, if you do well at the PPA challengers with this small court, and then you're going to go to another, actual PPA and then play on a regular size court, if anything, that's, kind of just confusing for me.
Yeah, I could see that too. And so, what do you want to see in the future with pickleball? Where do you think is the biggest area for growth?
Let's see. So it's really big, obviously, in San Diego and in the LA area.
Yeah.
But it's also my cousin lives in Texas, and she was telling me how big it is in Texas. But I kind of would like to see it grow a little bit more in in the Florida area. I mean, I know it's big in South Florida.
Yeah.
But whenever I went back to visit my family in Pensacola, there was barely any pickleball there.
Yeah. That's sad.
I know. So it's one of my friends who did play, we went to just some random tennis court, and we had chalk, and we literally just drew out.
You chalked out a court?
Yeah.
That's some dedication there.
Yeah.
Anything for pickleball. So how did you meet Jonah?
I was playing with one of my friends here, and he said, I have someone who is looking to play mixed, and he's just wanting to play in the California Pickleball Classic. So he kind of hooked us up together, and that's kind of how it started. But now that I moved, Jonah and I don't ever get to play.
I know, that's sad.
But I mean, considering that, we play one time, together, once a year, and we still do fairly well.
Fairly well? You guys took second. Come on, girl. That's awesome. So do you play, when you go to these iPickle and the different tournaments that you go to, do you play both gender doubles and mixed doubles?
I do.
Yeah. Who's your women's doubles partner?
So she used to live in San Diego, but she just moved to the Bay Area for school.
Mm-hmm.
So normally I would play with her, but since she moved, I've kind of been just bouncing around between different people that I kind of meet along the way. And then for mixed, it's kind of the same situation. I don't really have like one like solid partner, but so yeah, I'll like, bounce around between mixed partners as well. But I just played with someone new for the PPA Masters last week. So I think we're gonna probably start playing a little bit more together.
How is that adjusting to new partners? And obviously I feel like everybody's a little bit different, but what's your like advice to people that are doing that at home?
To playing with just like new partners?
Yeah, in a tournament and stuff.
Just to be able to get as much practice as you can with them. Like if you guys can't find games, drill together, you know, look for each other's like, you know, patterns, their tendencies kind of thing. So it's just like getting that court time together.
What's your favorite paddle to use?
The one that I'm using right now, shout out to Thrive Pickleball for giving me such a great paddle. Like this paddle has lasted me for a long time, and normally paddles don't last very long for me at least.
Yeah.
And this paddle just feels really good in my hand. I get, you know, the control out of it. I get the power out of it. So the biggest thing is like being able to last me more than a couple of weeks.
Yeah, seriously. Because how often do you think you play a week?
Not as much as you think I would. So I only really get to play maybe like Tuesday through Thursday during the day. That's when both of my kids are in school. So whenever they're in school, I just like hit up a couple of my friends either to play games or mainly just like drill.
Yeah.
So yeah, I probably only play like three to four times a week.
All right. Well, you kill it for only playing that often.
I try my best.
What is a pickleball shot that you would like to work on the most in the next year?
I have been drilling this for a long time now, so hopefully I can get it down. It's the inside out forehand when I'm on the right side, because especially in mixed, you know, the guy is going to be taking up a lot of court.
Yeah.
So being able to like read that early and then hit the ball behind them is a big shot that I want to get better at.
Yeah. What's your biggest pickleball pet peeve?
Just really obnoxious grunting. That makes it makes my teeth hurt sometimes listening to people with ridiculous grunts.
Even coming from the tennis background, do you think that's why?
Yeah, because like I'm not a big, like I don't grunt, I don't do any of that stuff. So, and I'm like, also we're hitting a wiffle ball and you're hitting a ball so slow in the kitchen. Why do you need to make this big grunt while you're dinking? Doesn't make sense.
Oh, I love that. What's something that people would be shocked to hear about you? Maybe it's a secret hobby, something that's like your favorite snack. What is something that people would be shocked?
I don't know. I guess I really don't have that much hobbies because I just don't have the time for hobbies. I don't know. When I talk to people, they're like, "Oh, you must practice a lot."
Yeah.
I said, I actually don't. Like, I would like to play more than I do, but I just don't have the time with all my kids and sports. And because my husband is active duty military, my schedule is always around him.
Yeah.
So sometimes he'll tell me, "Okay, I'm going to be home at this time. You can go play after I get home." And I'm ready to go. And then he texts me 5 minutes before I have to leave. He's like, "I'm sorry, I have to be here longer." So I have to cancel my whole session because he just isn't home yet to watch the kids.
I know, that stinks. That stinks. But, you know, the things you do for love. The things you do for love.
I said, you know, with him, you know, with him being in the military and everything, it has given me a lot of opportunities to, you know, play and everything.
I know you talked about you love the lob and
Yes.
definitely like the fast hands and the counters. What do you think is your secret shot? Is it the lob?
It's the lob, for sure. I have many people coming up to me, even when we're drilling, And like after games and everything, they're like, we hate your lobs. Like they're so like, and I was drilling with one of my friends and I was like, I wonder how many lobs it'll take for her to not drill with me anymore.
That's your goal, is how many times can I lob someone before they say no more, no more.
Yeah, so whenever, I'm playing, and the thing is like with the lob, like you just have to disguise it and you just have to make it look like a basic dink. And what I like to do, I will hit lobs from places that people just aren't expecting. So people think like, okay, I can take a lob out of the air here and then hit it, but I'm hitting lobs from like down here.
Oh, interesting.
And my big one, I love hitting a short hop lob, especially when I'm on the defense. So if they hit an aggressive dink out wide, besides, trying to reset it back to the middle or down the line, I'm taking it off the short hop and I just hit a lob over the right-sided player.
And is it all on the wrist? Is that like, I suck at the lob, I'm gonna be honest.
A lot of people say that in pickleball, it's not, like you don't want to use too much wrist because of fear of like, popping up the ball and everything. I'm the one player who probably is the most like wristy player out there. So for me, a lot of my shots are a lot of wrist because I'm hitting all of my shots the same. I have like this big wind up where people think I'm gonna speed up, but then I'm hitting, a regular dink. And then I'm here and they think I'm gonna hit a dink. Like my favorite thing, especially people who play against me all the time, they know I lob a lot. So I see them at the kitchen and when I'm winding up, they're already doing this, backing up, and then I don't hit it. So then they're moving back. So they're constantly moving back and forth from the kitchen because they just don't know when I'm gonna hit it. So when they're backing up like this and then I don't hit a lob, then they expose all this room and then I hit like a roll or something, which is another shot that not like known for, but I'm very consistent at hitting like aggressive forehand dinks cross court.
Yeah, so switching it up, disguising your shot. Yeah, okay, so where do you want me to hit this next one?
So try, if you can, just try to hit it a little low here.
Okay.
And then I can hit it off from that. Here. So a little deeper.
Perfect, right in the corner, man.
You can try to get it like in the, like towards the kitchen line here.
Okay.
And then it's like a more of a short hop.
Man, you're good at the lob. The lob boss.
Yeah, they say, nasty lobs, because I hit it from a lot of places where people just aren't expecting it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times whenever I'm playing, mixed doubles, the guys are taking up so much court. It's a little harder to do with Jonah because he takes up a little too much and I'm just standing here the whole time. But whenever I play with other mixed partners who don't take up as much, sometimes I will reach in here in the middle and then I will lob it over the guy in front of me to that corner.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, because no one's like really expecting a lot of the females to take balls in the middle here because normally the guys will take those shots. So sometimes if I see that my partner is a little off balance or something, I'll kind of like creep in a little bit middle and then I either can hit a lob over the girl here or I can hit the lob over the guy.
Yeah, no, that's like awesome.
You can try to get it like in the, like towards the kitchen line here.
Okay.
And then it's like a more of a short hop.
Man, you're good at the lob. The lob boss.
Yeah, they say, nasty lobs, because I hit it from a lot of places where people just aren't expecting it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times whenever I'm playing, mixed doubles, the guys are taking up so much court. It's a little harder to do with Jonah because he takes up a little too much and I'm just standing here the whole time. But whenever I play with other mixed partners who don't take up as much, sometimes I will reach in here in the middle and then I will lob it over the guy in front of me to that corner.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, because no one's like really expecting a lot of the females to take balls in the middle here because normally the guys will take those shots. So sometimes if I see that my partner is a little off balance or something, I'll kind of like creep in a little bit middle and then I either can hit a lob over the girl here or I can hit the lob over the guy.
Yeah, no, that's like awesome. What's your advice to people that are trying to work on their lob but they're just starting?
Just have someone go out there with a bucket of balls and just feed you kind of like just basic dinks first. Like don't try and hit like the one out of the air just yet, or don't try like the short hop lob. Just have someone just feed you balls and just get that muscle memory of how you need to hit it. And once you get consistent at it, you can get so many in a row, then try to incorporate hitting it out of the air or something. Like just have someone feed you balls.
Yeah.
Drilling is so important because like, you know, you want to be able to get good reps in, and you want that muscle memory of hitting all of your shots.
100%.
And then you want to see if you're drilling, if you can make that happen in games.
Yeah.
Because if you are going to drill, it's like, okay, the ball, I know the ball's coming here, I can hit all these shots, but in an actual game, like they're not going to hit that spot every time. So you just need to see if all that work you're doing in drilling pays off in an actual game.
Yes. And I'm sure it does, because practice makes perfect. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Do appreciate it.
Thank you so much.